BMW has always been close to my heart because this is how it's all started. Back in 2005 I wanted to see how the M5 went against its competitors. So this episode you'll only see BMW race competitors from other brands.
Gustav Super Races shows you the world's fastest cars put against each other in adrenaline-filled drag races. Gustav runs a successful YouTube channel with soon over 200 million views and a great reputation within the world of racing. In this show, he will present the best races he's ever organized, with rare supercars from Bugatti, Koenigsegg, Ferrari, and other top brands. These races share a unique look with the raw performance of the world's fastest cars.
This was one of the first clips I uploaded to my channel. Back in 2006, it was unheard of with a V10 in a family sedan. Only sports cars like the Dodge Viper and the Lamborghini Gallardo had V10s. So we tried the M5 with the V10 and its sequential manual gearbox where you shift with paddles versus the Lamborghini Gallardo also with the V10 and its 6-speed manual gearbox. We raced from 50 km/h and it's going to be a close race.
Perfekt, 50. Gallardo against M5, standard. Both are standard. 50 km/h and manual gearbox. Riktigt jämnt alltså. Man sa, även för man kom in ibland, sen så stack det olika växlingspunkter liksom. Det var bra.
In 2009, Lamborghini upgraded the Gallardo to the LP560-4. They added 60 horsepower and a facelift to the Gallardo. This Gallardo also had a sequential gearbox where you shift with paddles, just like the M5 has its SMG gearbox. We raced from 50 km/h and this time it was a much harder challenge for the M5. Do enjoy this race. In this race, we tried the old BMW M5 with a V10 versus the latest BMW M5 with a V8 twin turbo. It also has double clutch, 7-speed gearbox, and the V10 M5 has a sequential gearbox. We raced from 50 km/h up to the top speed limiter at 250.
Arne, BMW Sweden, and from 50 km/h. First gear on both cars.
Here we have two classics, the Godzilla Nissan GTR R35 with its 485 horsepower versus the BMW M5 with its 560 horsepower V8 twin turbo. Both cars have double clutch gearbox, twin turbo, and they have a top speed of at least 250 kilometers per hour. Here we race from 50 kilometers per hour, and the race is surprisingly close.
Dagens jämnaste race tror jag.
The latest generation of the Mercedes CLS63 AMG has a V8 bi-turbo engine, just as the BMW M5. We raced these two against each other from 50 kilometers per hour. And the BMW M5 really had to fight for it.
Ja, då är klart. Nu kör vi. M5 versus CLS 63 AMG with performance package. Or not. Red or black?
This comparison is the absolute top model of the Porsche Panamera, the Turbo S. If you have a Panamera Turbo, you can always know that there is the Panamera Turbo S, which has 550 horsepower instead of 540. So we match this against the standard BMW M5. The Panamera Turbo S in this video has 22-inch ADV aftermarket wheels. In any way, this race turned out to be surprisingly close.
Ja, han kom iväg lite snabbare bara tror jag.
Han tvekar alltid när man är kickdown på den här, liksom någon tiondel extra.
Just det.
Men den är lite snabbare, det gör den.
So let's do a re-race with the Porsche Panamera Turbo S versus the BMW M5 with 560 horsepower. The Panamera Turbo S have a 10 horsepower increase from the regular Panamera Turbo, so in total it has 550 horsepower. Some changes in the turbos includes titanium blades in both of the turbos, more options, and generally faster makes the Panamera Turbo S a really great family car. It's four-wheel drive and the M5 is two-wheel drive. Let's see how it goes in a re-race.
Ja, den är lite snabbare då, helt enkelt. Det är väl...
1,5.
Ja, något sånt.
Ja, men det var bra race.
Ja, det var faktiskt bra.
In this race we had some guests over from Russia with his Switzer tuned Porsche 911 Turbo with a 5-speed Tiptronic gearbox but tuned to well over 800 horsepower, even close to 900 horsepower. He's running race gas and it will race BMW M5 E34 from the late 80s, early 90s with a huge turbo, which actually comes from a truck, like a Borg-Warner turbo. And I think the Russian driver will be in for a surprise.
Stock Porsche versus stock BMW.
No shit, Shelley. Oops.
Just there are some cars.
Yeah.
I will let them pass.
In this race you will see the BMW M5 in the E39 generation, which has a V8 with 400 horsepower, which revs to 7,000 RPM. This was my personal M5. I have added Super Sprint exhaust and headers, which bumped up the horsepower to 430. I will be racing the founder and owner of ESS, European Supercharging Systems. That's also driving M5 E39, but he added a supercharger to his M5, which upped the power to well over 600 horsepower. It was a huge difference in acceleration, but also difference in braking, since I had large aftermarket 380mm stop-tech brakes and he had stock brakes and was about to run off the airfield.
Okay, from 50 kilometers per hour, BMW M5 E39 Super Sprint with 430 horsepower versus ESS Supercharged with how many horsepower? 550. Okay, we start from 50 second gear.
Vänta innan. Okay. Vi hörs.
220, 230, 240, 250, 260. Wow. Okay, I had 260 on the tachometer. What did you have? 300? Wow. So should we start from 100?
Well, I got going nice when I first hooked up. I hooked up at about 120.
Yeah.
But second gear was wasted.
Yeah.
In this race we have the legendary BMW M3 of the first generation, the E30. At the time, in the mid-1980s, it had a straight four-cylinder engine. But a few years ago, a friend of mine put in a V10 from the BMW M5 instead and matched it to a 5-speed manual gearbox. We raced that car versus the car that is supposed to have the V10, the BMW M5 with the V10. So here you can see the difference of weight in a car where both have V10s.
Så. Testa på ettan här. Jävlar, inte konen är rätt långt fram. Ska du som en vanligt eller vad? Jo, kanske. Han sa 1300 meter. Ja, det är sjukt bra faktiskt. Hur många bilar inne var det? Kan vara... Ja, det var 10 i alla fall. 10 bilar inne. Han stack bra.
So I had to see the performance again of this BMW M3 E30 with the V10 in it. So we matched up against the BMW M6 Coupe with the V10 and the aftermarket exhaust. The M6 was at the time the fastest BMW you could get, and this was tuned a little bit more with the performance exhaust. The BMW M3 E30 with the V10 have a 5-speed gearbox, manual gearbox, and the M6 have a 7-speed sequential, very fast gearbox where you shift with paddles.
Ja. Det är bara att sticka första konan. Fuska som fan. Stick. Kör.
Gustav Super Races shows you the world's fastest cars put against each other in adrenaline-filled drag races. Gustav runs a successful YouTube channel with soon over 200 million views and a great reputation within the world of racing. In this show, he will present the best races he's ever organized, with rare supercars from Bugatti, Koenigsegg, Ferrari, and other top brands. These races share a unique look with the raw performance of the world's fastest cars.